Joining me now is Florida's own Chief Financial Officer, Jimmy Patronis. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I know that there's 4 locations, as we just mentioned, and there are a lot of folks who don't even know the claim process. When they show up, what can they expect? Should they bring pictures? Do they need evidence of damage? Explain a little bit how that process works.
All the above helps. In most cases, you've already gotten outreach from your carrier, text message, call, push notification, email. So you may have already started the claims process with them. Like this morning, I was in Clearwater, and there's people walking in with piles of paper. They've already started estimates. So different phases of the claims have already started to come underway. But if you have not started your claim yet, you should do that immediately. And if you need to do it with us tomorrow morning in Plant City or Clearwater or Lakeland or Bradenton, please come and join us. We'll open up at 9 a.m.
So you can actually start your claim in person at that time.
That's right.
And will they walk out with any money that might help them just get back on their feet? Because many of those folks don't have any place to live. They've been flooded out, or you know what I mean? So what's the process there?
So in the last 24 hours with the villages, we've given out about $500,000, and that's upfront living expense money. It's just to help them get a roof over their head, maybe hotel rooms, get themselves stabilized, because you may have to do some remediation work to your home, and you can't live in it while that's taking place. So this is a way to get that family stabilized and start to put their financial order of their life back together.
All right. Let's talk about flooding issues. So many folks out there who've never flooded before, now flooding. They maybe don't have flood insurance, or if they do, they don't have content insurance. So they're really having to pay everything out of pocket at this point. And many of them have lost everything in their home because of the rising waters. Maybe the rivers overflowed, the pipes don't work. And we know this is a new problem for a lot of folks because this is unprecedented, the amount of rain we got from Debbie and then Helene and now Milton. Is the state doing anything? I know FEMA has its hand in it, but can the state, get involved, maybe offering low interest loans or no interest loans? How is the state helping those folks who have nothing?
Yeah, so for the Office of DEO, that's the Department of Economic Opportunity, there will be low interest, zero interest loan programs, and those they really help small businesses that have been devastated by this. We want to try to get people back up on their feet. But it's heartbreaking when you've never had a flood and now all your worldly belongings are out on the curb. And it's hard, it's painful, but this is unfortunately a lesson that we're going to learn, that the stove is hot, and if we don't want to touch the stove again. So now we're going to have to start carrying flood insurance when you thought you had the peace of mind that you didn't really need it. Right. This is going to be a painful transition, but the state will be meeting this November with organizational session. We'll have regular session in the spring, and I would be shocked if there's not some prioritization to put how we go back and harden people's communities, especially dealing with stormwater and sea level rise where people's homes were damaged, of course.
Right, really unprecedented.
Yeah.
Let's talk about additional living expenses. Again, I know FEMA has been here. Are they also supplying, money for those folks who maybe have no insurance?
Yes, so FEMA has authorized the assisted living programs where you make application. Ideally, the best thing to do is try to make it online. And what I've learned over the years is you may get denied at first, just reapply. You probably did something wrong in the application process. Take your time. There are several areas around town where you can actually go in person to file for FEMA direct individual assistance. That's what it's called. So any of those, you can do it in person, but if you have the ability to do it online, please do it online. And it's one of these processes where they literally deposit the money right directly into your checking account.
Oh, that's great. The whole state of Florida really has been hit from one of these 3 storms especially. I'm wondering what kind of complaints you're receiving directly, because I know, again, it didn't just affect the Bay Area. It affected, the East Coast, the North, of course, Big Bend, the whole state of Florida. What are you getting, I guess, what are you hearing most from residents, and what do they need right now?
I think right now we're not hearing an outcry of people wanting one thing or another. We're screaming at everybody not to sign anything. If they don't sign anything, then they're not relinquishing any of their rights or any of their dollars to any of the bad scam artists that are approaching them at their doorstep. Don't worry, people will start complaining at some point or another, because different levels of thresholds are going to be fighting with contractors, patience with contractors, supply chain disruptions, because people are going to need drywall. We'll run tight on drywall, floor coverings, you name it. So right now we're still in the transition of getting power, getting stabilized. But yeah, people are going to start struggling here soon because they'll be frustrated with how long it takes to rebuild. This is significant. This was not a storm that didn't cause light damage to this part of the state. It's tremendous damage.
And you know, speaking of not signing anything, we talked about the villages, and I just fear that folks who may not know the claim process, that they will sign something and think that that's all they need, right? When really they need an adjuster to come out to their house to figure out all the damage they have. Can you talk a little bit about how that works?
Yeah, so consider the adjuster as like an investigator. That investigator is coming out on behalf of the insurance company to determine what they're liable for. And whatever photographic evidence you've got of what your house looked like before the storm, inventory, photos of your house, even go back to your Christmas photos where you can show what your house looked like so you can at least know what items were destroyed. This all goes into the claims process. So when you can show photographic evidence before and after, that helps the claim have a much clearer path of what is owed to you. So, you know, understand that an adjuster will need to come out, but like car claims, those are cookie cutter. Those can almost be done via your smartphone. A 2016 Tahoe is a 2016 Tahoe. So the flood claims should go very smoothly on automobiles. The homes, you're gonna have to have a little more patience as somebody's gonna have to individually come out to every home and inspect them to file the proper paperwork to get your money.
And I do know folks, the scammers especially, are already knocking on doors saying, hey, we'll fix your roof. Talk a little about this free program that you guys have just started. Blue Roof, is that what it's called? And how it works, because folks don't have to pay for this, right?
Right. So Operation Roof Blue is offered by the Army Corps of Engineers, and they will literally put a tarp on your house at no cost to you whatsoever, even if you have insurance. It is just to dry your house in, protect it. So if anybody comes to you saying, oh, I'm here from the Army Corps of Engineers, just sign this paperwork, don't do it. Right now, anything that you might sign might give part of your claim to a total stranger. These are your benefits, and they call it a directional of payments. They're directing the payments away from you. So please, you know, if it sounds too good to be true, it always is. But literally, you can go to, I think it's 1-800 Roof Blue BLU.
Yeah, I think we have it on our website actually.
And then start the process. And then it also, if you have somebody trying to scam you with it, that's the same phone number you call to report the bad actors.
Okay, good idea. Thank you. Mr. Patronis, thank you so much for joining us tonight. I know you have a lot going on and we appreciate your time.
And if anybody's got any questions, they can call us at 1-877-MY-FLCFO.
All right, very good.
Thanks.
Thank you for being here. We appreciate it.